It's been a while since I come to the camera and actually forcing myself to do this right now. I'm trying to work through some of the energies and inertia that I have been feeling sort of blanketed by since yesterday afternoon, which is weirdly strange because yesterday morning I woke up drinking my coffee and I felt this incredible wave of inspiration to write. And so I sat down at the computer and I allowed the words to come through me. And I wrote a blog post. So it's been sitting on my desk since yesterday because I don't have a blog and I don't know where to put it. So today I'm just following through with some additional inspiration just to share the blog post with you. I'm going to read to you this piece of writing, and I hope that it inspires you. So here we go. I sit once again between the closing of one door and the opening of another. This sacred, uncomfortable, voidal space where seemingly nothing is happening. I know that you are familiar with this space too. There is an ephemeral feeling of being inside of an invisible hallway or a waiting room. And you look back at the doorway that you come through, knowing that you can never go back, though a part of you may want to. But the circumstances of your life in that direction have completed. Things are no longer the same. You are no longer the same. And so you sit. Oftentimes, when souls are dropped into this voidal space between the closing of one chapter in their life and the opening of the next, it is fraught with confusion about what to do next, where to go next. I've been in this space so many times in my life that I am now accustomed to the uncomfortable wrestling of the mind with this blanket of mystery. On this occasion, it was not a great clap of thunder and bolt of lightning toppling the foundation of my life and spilling me outward, tattered and bruised into the great unknown. Instead, thankfully, this time, it was a steady, intentional placing of footfalls in the direction of my dreams. For the past several years, I've been working with the magic of manifestation in co-creation with spirit. I've been dedicating my time, my energy, my life force, my finances, and my physical labor into the long-held dream of moving out of the city into a quiet, serene cabin on a lake. It's from this beautiful personal paradise that these words flow through me now. Trusting these words will find the souls who are ready, willing, and open to be inspired by them. I set them free. For the past 3 decades, I have been consciously working with the spiritual laws to manifest the life circumstances of my desires. But it's only been through this most recent journey of co-creation of the lake house that I have been fully able to fall back into the trust of allowing, thus have experienced the wondrous, seemingly magical application of grace in all ways that I've never experienced before. There was a time when I carried an unconscious belief that I could never have this thing that I longed for so badly. I imagined that owning a lake house was for other people, but I would never have the means to own one myself. And one day, while my heart was pining for this lake house that I could never have, I actually became conscious of this belief. Maybe I said it out loud. I don't remember. But suddenly I became aware that some part of me believed it was impossible for me to own a lake house. When this realization hit that it was impossible, I thought, well, that's ridiculous. I mean, it's not like it's impossible. I began to rationalize that there are tons of lakes, there's tons of houses on lakes, and there's tons of perfectly normal, average people owning them. And so there's no reason, absolutely no reason, why I, a perfectly normal, average person, cannot own one someday as well. And that was the beginning of the journey towards having. It wasn't fast. It wasn't immediate. It took a whole lot of sitting in sacred space and intending. And there were plethoras of limiting beliefs to work through. I don't remember them all, but I remember the last one. The last one came up after a morning of journaling, creatively writing about living at a lake house as if I were already there. What it would feel like, what it would smell like, what it would sound like. I described in detail what I would be doing there and how grateful I was to be there. I stood up after writing to make myself a cup of coffee, and I thought, man, I really need to make some more money so I can live in this lake house. Like lightning, a thought came from outside of myself, as if somebody were speaking inside my head. The voice said, that's a limited belief. And in an instant, I knew this to be true. Complete understanding that I was placing money as a hurdle to conquer first was delaying my receiving of what I had been praying for. So I began to state out loud, I can have a lake house now. I repeated it for days just to dissolve that previous belief. In less than 2 weeks, the lake house came into my experience. Several months later, I closed on the property with a small personal loan. It took decades of praying, a year of single-focused attention to manifesting, and 2 years of weekends to renovate this tiny shack into the beautiful living space that it is today. But every step, every minute was worth it. To smell the pines, to be able to hear and follow the wind's journey as it strokes the fringes of trees over the mountains around me. To delight in the reflection of the sunlight and the moonlight on the great expanse of water before me. Every day, I am grateful for this parcel of heaven that I have been blessed to behold and call home. Now, at the close of 2023, here I am, reveling in the completion of a dream, with the knowingness and the experience from this most recent manifestation that up until now, I have been dreaming too small. I know this for you too. We have all been dreaming too small. So now I sit in the waiting room, in the hallway of what has come to pass and what will come to be, with the chimeras of a new dream whispering salutations to me. A big dream. A bigger dream than I have ever allowed myself, than I have ever imagined possible for myself. Because why not? Why not? I'm glancing up at the familiar guardians that stand before the gateway of this new dream. They are different. Yet they are the same as the guardians that stand before any of the gateways of our heart's dreaming. They seem so big, so scary, so insurmountable, so exhausting. But I know now that they are only made of mist. The first of the guardians will say something like, "That's impossible. Who are you, so little, so puny, so insignificant, to think that you can do or have something such as that? You don't have what it takes. Go back. Sit down. Stay small. Settle into your little life." Another of the guardians will say something like, "What will they think of you? What will they think of you if you rise? They might get jealous. They might try to tie you down. They might ridicule you or even try to hurt you if you get too big, too bold, too unapologetically free. Go back. Sit down. Settle." Another of the guardians might say, "You don't know what's out there. It's dangerous. The world is full of strange, unmarked pitfalls and wolves disguised as gentle grandmothers. Go back. Sit down. At least you know how to navigate your familiar, uncomfortable life. Settle." Because they are made of mist, they often come in the form of procrastination, distraction, busy work, or a general feeling of dread, anxiety, depression, overwhelm. Often, they do not speak these things directly to us, but they may speak through other people around us. Each new dream, each new expansion has its own flavor of these guardians, designed to protect us from the unknown and designed to challenge our faith, our courage, our integrity, because the treasures on the other side of the gateway, the treasures of the dream in its fulfillment, requires us always to become an increasingly better version of ourselves in order to hold it. So I sit in the voidal space. As the crisp of winter begins to weave itself through the air, resting now from the long labor of birthing a dream into physical reality, gathering my strength, my courage, and my stamina to face the guardians of a new dream that is slowly seeding into the fertile soils of my mind. A vision from a future self calling me to rise again, to keep placing one foot and then the next on a pathway that I cannot yet see, listening to a promise that I am choosing to trust. I offer these words up to you, this sentiment up to you, because this is where I'm at. And coming here to share that with you took a lot of force. I've been wrestling with these guardians for the past few days, and they are fierce. They are gnarly, but they are essentially made of mist. I hope this inspires you to meet your own guardians and to keep stepping towards and working towards your own heart's dreaming. Namaste, beloved. Big heart, love.